Okay, Howard, I want to go ahead and do a recap of your lesson from the other day. If you'll remember correctly, we talked a lot about controlling your low point, teaching you to hit the ball before the ground, and a lot of that started with your setup and then how you put the club into motion. So I have your swing here on the left before any instruction was given. I'll just sort of play that through for you really quick. And then here you are on the right after we worked together for a little bit. All right, so if you'll remember correctly, as it relates to controlling the low point, we talked about how many golfers can skew the low point of their swing in one of three ways. Number one is shifting their weight away from the target in the backswing. Number two is bending and breaking the left arm radius at the top of their backswing. And then number three would be throwing their wrist angles away, at the bottom of the swing arc. Unfortunately, you are doing all three of those things, and I'll kind of demonstrate those for you here on the left. So if you take a look at this swing, you'll notice how your body is starting to move away from the target, sort of in this fashion. Head's moving back, lower axis is moving back, your tailbone's moving back, and here we are, kind of at the top of your backswing. Got a tremendous lateral move off the ball here. Low point is well behind the golf ball at this point, probably in this area right here. Really nasty bend of the left arm here. Really not much of a chance to hit it solid consistently from this type of position. So we worked on that, exclusively, and here on the right you'll see a much better job. So first thing we did was we sort of flared your feet out, about 20 degrees, flared the knees out about 10 degrees over the tops of your feet. I had you slide your tailbone forward toward the target, seating about 60% of your weight on your left leg there, and then I also had you push the handle forward toward the target. Okay, all of those things are going to now be staples of your setup position and put you in a great position to start the swing and to keep your low point in front of that golf ball. So as we talked about, how to put the club into motion, the swing thought I wanted you to have was the left shoulder working down, from the start with straight arms, because that's going to facilitate you moving right into the side bend or the side tilt that we talked about. And notice how as your club moves away here, your left shoulder is working down much better here than on the left. Right knee is straightening. Left knee is flexing, starting to side bend and feel extension in your spine up here. Okay, that's kept you sort of stacked right over the top of the golf ball, giving you a much better chance of hitting it solidly. Okay, so the first move down, if I'm going to critique, let me back up for a second. If I'm going to critique this, and what I want you to continue to work on is when you make this motion, continue to allow the right knee to straighten, left knee flex. Continue to have your hips turning on a slanted angle like this right here. But what I don't want to see is I don't want to see this left knee breaking in toward your right knee. I'd rather see it breaking in toward the ball, so it will sort of hold its place where it was at address, with a bending or breaking in toward the golf ball. Okay. But all in all, very good from here. I would like to see, continue to see you firm up your left arm radius. Still have a little bit of bend in that left elbow, but the more slack we can get out of that joint, the more or less chaotic our low point will be. So when we start down, the first move down is the left knee, left hip, pushing forward, really getting into that quadricep, trying to get. By this position right here where the left arm is parallel to the ground, we should probably have about 70% of our weight on our left side. as the club moves down, shaft moves parallel to the ground, we should probably be around 80%. 80% of our weight on our left side, continuing to push forward. And then when we hit impact, anywhere from 85 to 90% of our weight on our left side at impact. Okay, you'll notice that didn't quite happen for you, and your left knee started to straighten just a little too soon, and that prevented your hips from continuing to push forward, and that's one of the reasons why your pivot stalled, your upper torso didn't continue turning, and your wrist angle sort of dumped a little bit. So at impact, you have a tad bit of forward shaft lean. I'd say it's probably more of a neutral shaft, whereas here on the left, at impact, I think the handle is actually leaning backwards. Pretty neutral, pretty close. A little bit better position on the right, but we want to see much more forward shaft lean at impact. So I'd like to see the arms more in, probably this position here, with the shaft more like this. Okay, so I'm going to give you a drill here in just a second to help you feel that and to help you sequence that. But all in all, much more extension through impact. Kept your arms much more straighter. Got your weight to your left side much better. A heck of an improvement for your very. All right, Howard, here's the drill I want to see you do. I call it a flying wedge drill, but basically it's just getting 60% of our weight. Our setup doesn't change. Everything looks exactly the same. It's a little bit shorter swing. You're going to see my left arm go to about parallel to the ground here, so it's not a full swing. Just a big enough swing to get our weight pushing forward into our left side, arms remaining dead straight. At impact, we want nice forward-leaning shaft. Flat left wrist, arms staying perfectly straight past impact. Shoulders keep turning. Weight keeps pushing forward. And we're going to hold our finish about right there. Okay? We shouldn't see the right wrist crossing over the top of the left. Should still see that right arm flying wedge intact, and should see our arms dead, absolutely dead straight in the finish with zero bend. Okay? You're going to hit balls at about 50-60% full speed, but that's this is just quick, fast enough to train the body and to get into this impact position. Okay? Give me a call if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you soon.